It would probably need, you know, it's almost like a return to one kind of bartering in one sense. But it would mean that they would be focused on much more on their basic basic needs, and that there has to develop new ways of sharing, so that everybody is taken care of in that sense. Otherwise, it won't work, I would think. But we're so used to, because of the conditioning of these earlier underworlds, to basically live our lives with only care to ourselves and our families, maybe, that we distrust that possibility. But I think that's a possibility that will be coming through, not only because of the necessity that we're going into. With this new world is actually more or less being forced upon us by the divine plan. But also by the change, the influence on our minds, our way of looking at the world that these new energies will have.
So you're saying the pursuit of wealth and hoarding isn't going to be necessary?
No, I think it's not necessary, and I think it's also we've seen where that has led, and
try to rephrase the question. The pursuit of wealth and
I'll say, okay. Well, yeah, the pursuit of wealth and hoarding will not be necessary if we are in a world that where sharing is a natural principle, and where we really have absorbed the lessons that we are now going through in these couple of years.
So what are you saying? If you knew that you would be assured that a vacuum cleaner or a car would be available to you when you needed one.
Yeah.
There would be no need to have 5 cars in the garage.
That's something like that. Yeah, no, this is again sort of, I hear you saying your thoughts, and that's perfectly okay, but I can't just take them. So
no, don't,
yeah.
Don't. You want to talk anything else about the Book of Revelation?
No, I think we covered that. I'm convinced we covered that.
The ending. Why don't you talk a little bit about the different things that have happened in the various 6 nights of various underworlds? Go through some of that?
No, let me see, yeah. No, I'm a little bit uncertain about that.
About the 5th night?
No, about the 6th night. The parallel there would indicate, I think it will just be, this is off the camera, I think. I just think it will be more difficult than our I think we're a little bit more off the mark, so to speak, as a civilization, than would have been reflected in previous 6th nights.
I think the 5th night we've resisted the change of the 5th night this time.
Yeah, yeah. There's been a lot of. I think my sense is that it'll be more difficult than I would just think from, but if you just take the parallel of the 6th night in the planetary, it would be the energy crisis in 72 and 73, and it was important, but it wasn't that. It wasn't like this. It was just sort of going from a constant growth to that kind of a slower growth kind of thing. But I think my intuition, this case, not my Mayan knowledge, but my intuition says it will be more difficult. So that was off camera, obviously, yeah, because it had no power in it, in my speaking.
Do you guys have any questions?
I do.
Yeah?
Right now, there's a lot of fear going on about, in the end of the world, we're all going to die, and so on.
Yeah.
And this is represented in Discovery Channel, National Geographic, and many TV shows and then all over the internet. And I actually see that as a process that we all have to go through in order to eventually become fearless. And that is there anything you can take that and run with it? You know?
It's a good thought. Yeah, right. So at the present time, when
Come over here.
oh, okay, right. At the present time, then we are approaching something that is completely unknown when we're talking about this new world that will be born, and it's natural, I think, that many are afraid of this. We simply don't know where we're going, and I think we have deluded ourselves into thinking that we human beings are in control. And when you study the Mayan calendar, you find that, well, we have vastly over-exaggerated our control of where things are going. That is one thing I can say by certainty, that people haven't for a long time not been even considering that there is a cosmic plan that has been developing the world. And suddenly we want to realize, we should realize, suddenly we realize that something completely new is near ahead, and we may understand this, and we understand that our control is not as great as we thought. I think this creates a worrisome, and I think we are called to have faith in the process. And to have faith in the process, one important aspect is to know about the Mayan calendar and how the energies have been driving, that there is a purpose to it all. And I think that is something that might alleviate some of the fears that are associated with it.
Yeah, put that one up on YouTube, it might help.
I have a question too. Carl, why is it important for you to do this address? Why are we doing this right now?
Yeah, well, I want to do this address because I think there are so many misconceptions about the Mayan calendar out there. Some of them are powerful media, and it's also no.
Give it some thought.
Yeah. Some of them are powerful media, like Hollywood movies and so forth, and I think they are almost manipulating people, and there is a need to come out with a true understanding of the Mayan calendar, which is quite different from what you hear mostly.
Follow-up question to that is, how do you feel about the bickering that goes back and forth about the end date?
The bickering?
Yeah, the argument.
Yeah. Okay. Well.
For your colleagues.
Yeah, and well, I think the question is, what is the end date? I think it's a fundamentally important question, because with one end date you can actually sense the energies coming and going. It is reality based, it's based on the evidence that we have from history and biology, so forth. And so that is a useful calendar for people to go into. The other end date, which I don't endorse, the December 21, 2012, it's just a projection screen for whatever fantasies and fears that people have. And so I certainly discourage people from that. And I also encourage people to seriously look at this question because it's important as to how you understand what we're facing.
Let me just throw in a little connective here, because I want to go. We didn't really hit the underworld and God.
Yeah.
Just talk about
when
you speak of the underworld.
Yeah.
Or speak of the God of light, or the planetary God. Connect out to really the Mayans' interpretation of an underworld.
Yeah. So could you say the question again?
Yeah, I mean.